Hello, guys, and welcome to another video from Between the Ropes TV. Guys, we're just fresh off the back of Chris Billam-Smith against Xhoxhaj tonight at Bournemouth. 12 rounds, light heavyweight, cruiserweight action. Better get that right. Yes, what a fight that was. What a main event that was.
Oh, what a main event that was. Chris Billam-Smith, he come through. It was there was a few hairy moments at times in there. And obviously we spoke about it in a preview where don't want him to really engage too much, where he knows what's at stake or what's coming in the future with a world title shot in touching distance. I mean, he did engage at times unnecessarily, got caught a few times, but what a way to close the show. And I feel like he would move on from that fight with a lot of confidence. I think his corner will probably be happy that he didn't go through 12 rounds of hell and engage.
How did you score it, Yaz?
Do you know what? I think the first round could have gone either way. And then the second round definitely gave it to Xhoxhaj, because obviously he landed that shot and he looked like Chris Billam-Smith's legs were kind of gone. And, he just didn't, but he got himself, we know he's a tough, strong man. So his recuperation powers are very, he's able to recover because he's built like that. So, but apart from that, I think there are times Chris Billam-Smith was obviously the bigger, stronger man. So obviously he was just about doing enough to nick it as a home fighter for me.
And how about rounds 3 and 4?
Round 3 and 4, I gave them just edging towards Chris Billam-Smith, I'd say. Yeah, but definitely round 2, I gave it to Xhoxhaj. I mean, he was putting him under pressure and, landing a few shots, a couple sneaky good uppercuts that were landing in there. And Chris Billam-Smith's face was looking a bit like, he's in a fight. So I can understand the point of, a few rounds swinging it the other way. But I feel like as the home fighter, he was just doing just about enough to nullify the win.
And Yaz, such an emphatic finish in the 5th round. I mean, it didn't look as though it was going there, did it? That stoppage came out of nowhere. Describe it for us, Yaz. Break it down.
Yeah, I did see as the fight going on, Chris Billam-Smith coming on strong and producing like a probably round 7, 8 stoppage. But he did put his hands together, and it was a brutal finish. Like you saw the way, to finish it off with an uppercut like that. We know he's a strong guy. He can, but I didn't see that coming. I didn't expect that was a really good finish, and I feel like it will take a lot of confidence going.
So what do you think's next for Chris Billam-Smith then?
Well, they say that if he got through this one, then it's a world title shot. So I feel like they're probably gonna wait to see how. Obviously, Lawrence Okoye's mandatory with, I think it's light has been called. So I feel like they'll probably call for him because he's ranked very well across all the governing bodies. So I feel like the next thing for him would probably be a title shot. But I definitely would like to see some improvements from him. I feel like he kind of engages a bit too much and a bit too early sometimes. So I definitely would like to see some fundamental improvements, but no doubt Shane McGuigan and the team will probably work on to iron them issues out.
Right. Yeah. We'll move on to the co-main event, Yaz. Dan Aziz versus Rocky Fielding for the British and Commonwealth. This could have only been retained by Dan Aziz. We all know Rocky Fielding failed to hit the weight, so he couldn't have won the titles. Very, very briefly, Yaz, how do you sum up this fight?
Yeah, I think it was a fight where I really struggled to give Rocky Fielding any more than one round. I feel like Dan Aziz, obviously, he's not exactly a one-punch knockout kind of guy, but the work that he does is relentless. He's up in your face, he's always working away. He's got really high work rate. So I feel like he won the fight he was ahead on my scorecard by quite far before obviously the stoppage came. But I feel like Rocky Fielding, he's had his he's had his days. He's 30, I think he's 35 years old.
35, that's right.
He did have a few good moments in there where he was countering off the ropes. But I feel like when you're fighting someone like Dan Aziz, I would have liked to see him establish his jab more and be a bit more authoritative with his size in the ring. He was backing away too much, like he was the smaller fighter, fighting off the ropes. Like, no, he needed to work off his jab, etc. I feel like that was his game plan, to probably suck him in and catch him with a shot. But Dan Azeez is resilient, and he's got a very good work rate.
Yeah, and in 10 seconds, Yaz, tell us what's next for Dan Azeez in your opinion.
I'd like to see him probably go the traditional route, because I don't really have him down at the moment. I don't really have him down as someone who can mix it up there with the world level guys. So I'd like to see him progress slowly, maybe fight like a Lyndon Arthur. You know, he's had a few good comeback fights. Someone of that caliber next year.
Okay, nice one. And finally, Yaz, Caroline Dubois, an exciting talent. You put in a really good point in the WhatsApp group, possibly the best fighter in the family. What did this fight tell us, though? Because it was rather short, wasn't it?
Very short fight. I mean, it just kind of, for those who probably had doubts about her, it kind of makes them pay a bit more attention to her, because she you can only beat what's in front of you. And remember, she's very young, 21 years old. She's got the accolades as an amateur. She is touted to, you know, go and be the next big thing for women, especially British boxing for women. So she dealt with her opponent in there. It was a savage performance. And she's also got that character about her. And I see her developing as a character, you know, and being good at, you know, not so much like her brother, probably being more of a character and a personality. And she's got that charisma, and she shows it in the way that she fights as well.
Nice one. Excellent. I've got to see, I agree with you, Yaz, but I'm expecting to see a big 2023 from Caroline Dubois, where she can develop and become that sort of household name by developing a personality, but also imposing herself a bit more on our opponents in the ring. Plenty more first round knockouts I can see next year, hopefully end the year, possibly with a couple of titles around her waist. It's doable, isn't it, Yaz? Because there's not that much depth in female boxing. But guys, you've heard everything there from Yaz. He's broke it down, kept it nice and fresh, like his new haircut. Guys, there's lots of content still to come from the channel. We've even got our end of year awards, which is coming up very, very shortly. Stay tuned for that one. We'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care.